When Classic Legends relaunched the Jawa brand last year, they certainly were expecting a crazy response given the brand's legacy, but I'm also pretty sure that they were not expecting the kind of crazy it has turned out to be. In fact, online bookings for both motorcycles were stopped several months ago, and Classic Legends is hard at work right now trying to ensure that deliveries are done as quickly as possible and customers can get their motorcycles to ride quickly. And that's one big reason why you haven't seen a full-blown road test of either of the new Jawas and OVERDRIVE yet, because test bikes are simply not available yet. But we finally have a 42 with us here to tell you how this bike is like to ride in the real world. While the Jawa strikes the right chord with enthusiasts and old-timers given how closely it resembles the original motorcycle, the 42 here is more of a modern retro, if there exists a term like that, and I have to say that the styling is impressive, be it in terms of the design elements or some of the detailing like the pinstripes all over the motorcycle.
The classic round headlamp, offset single-pod instrument cluster and simple design of the fuel tank all make for a very appealing looking front end on the 42. The tank looks particularly attractive with its golden pinstripes, as also the Jawa emblem. Another retro design element is the way the fuel tank slopes backwards, followed by a flat seat. The wire-spoked wheels and twin exhaust finished in chrome complete the bike's retro design, while making for a simple yet attractive rear end. The attention to detail in the instrument cluster deserves a mention particularly, as the speedometer and fuel gauge use white readouts along with a black background, just like motorcycles used to in old times. Both gauges are inverted, which takes some getting used to though. The instrument cluster also houses a tiny digital display that integrates an odometer only, and the 42 does not get a trip meter, which is a miss in my opinion. Overall, the 42 oozes an old world charm that's hard to miss though, and the bike looks very attractive from every angle and is certainly a machine that commands second glances from onlookers.
The 42, as we know, is powered by a 293cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine. Now it shares the basic architecture with the Mahindra Mojo, but this engine of course has come a long way since then, and right now in terms of the physical appearance, it closely resembles what the original Jawa engine looked like, which is really impressive. Now the engine offers 27.2 PS and 28 Nm of torque, but here it's more about the slightly laid-back and retro feel from the engine, as also the distinctive sound from the twin exhaust rather than the outputs or the engine performance itself.
Performance is adequate, but power delivery from the engine is a little too flat. So the 42 does feel quick to accelerate, but I would have liked the power delivery to be slightly punchier for a more emotive feel. The bike accelerated from 0 to 60 kmph in 4.1 seconds in our acceleration tests and took just over 14 seconds to get to 100 kmph, which is also reasonably quick, especially given the bike's laid-back positioning and also its 170 kg curb weight. The bike also took a while to get to the 120 km/h mark on the speedometer and feels best when cruising at just under 100 kmph on open roads. Ratios on the 6-speed gearbox work well in city and on the highway as well, and clutch action is light while gear changes are precise. The engine also feels smooth at all times and remains vibration free unless being revved hard. More importantly, the twin exhausts offer a very distinctive exhaust note, which was particularly loud in the case of the bike we rode, as its exhaust baffles had been adjusted for a louder sound. And for those interested in the fuel efficiency, the 42 managed to return about 31.5 km/L in our highway efficiency test, while the number dropped down to a little over 27 km/L in the city, which is fairly decent.
The 42 is suspended on a set of telescopic forks up front and twin gas-charged shock absorbers at the rear, and contrary to my expectations, the ride quality is surprisingly pliant. I also like the seating position as you lean forward just a little bit to reach the handlebars thanks to the low seat, and thanks to the flat and wide handlebar and the positioning of the foot pegs, it is easy to stand up on the pegs when it comes to tackling bad roads.
The 42 thus feels comfortable to ride as the suspension soaks up bumps, undulations and potholes well, and the overall ride quality is pretty impressive. The riding position should also work well for long rides, as the seat, handlebar and foot peg combination is relaxed. That said, I would have liked the seat to be slightly softer though for long rides. Coming to the handling, the 42 also behaves well around corners, as the suspension offers a planted feel, but I would have liked the tyres to offer some more grip, especially on wet roads. The handlebar is wide and offers good leverage, thereby allowing you to change direction quickly, but the overall handling of the motorcycle is a little too relaxed, as is the case with the power delivery from the engine, and I would have liked the handling to be slightly sharper and more alert.
So to sum it up, the 42 certainly offers a lot of the visual charm of the original Jawas, and I also think it looks particularly appealing in this shade of teal blue. Now, Classic Legends has certainly hit the nail on the head in terms of the styling, as this bike offers a lot of the nostalgic feel that old-timers dig, but at the same time, I also need to mention that the riding experience is a little too laid back. Now, performance and handling are adequate, but at the same time, the bike does not feel very exciting to ride, and it could have offered a slightly more engaging feel from the saddle. Priced at about 1.8 lakh rupees on the road, this bike makes a lot of sense if you're looking for that nostalgic feel and the retro charm that it has. But then, the long waiting periods are certainly a stumbling block.